When morning light rose from behind the mountains, there were 15,000 men in the Kleidion Pass. When evening darkness fell, there were still 15,000 men, but none of them could see anymore. Only 150 of them could look with a single eye. The remaining 14,850 had their eyes gouged out. Clean, systematic, by order. This was not an accident. It was the plan itself. Emperor Basil II's order was clear. Out of every 100 men, one man's left eye would be left. The others would have both eyes taken, because the army had to return. On foot, on its own legs, and with every step, what Bulgaria saw had to be the army itself. The punishment was not an execution. The punishment was the sending. Kleidion was a choke point between mountains. Two armies had met. The battle was over. The Bulgarian forces were surrounded. Those were the known facts. But the time between the moment a battle ends and the moment an emperor gives an order was a kind of silence. History does not record. When Basil gave the order, nobody asked. Nobody said, why? Because asking meant the answer might find you too. In the Byzantine camp on the first day, nothing happened. Soldiers went back to their tents, wounds were dressed, cauldrons boiled. The Bulgarian prisoners were gathered on flat ground, unarmed, exhausted, waiting. The sky was clear, the air was mild, there was no wind, there was nothing. On the second day, the call came. Byzantine soldiers were divided into specific groups. Bulgarian groups of 100 were selected. A Byzantine soldier was placed in front of each group. They did not have knives in their hands, not yet. On the third day, the first 100 were called. They walked, quietly, because they still didn't know what was going to happen. Even if they had known, nothing would have changed, but the walk would have been different. Now they were only walking, footsteps in the dirt, breathing steady, hands at their sides. They stopped in front of a tent. There was no sound from inside. One man was called. He went in. A scream rose from inside, short, then silence, then another scream. The 99 men waiting outside did not move. When the first man came out, his face was red, not blood, the wiped trace of blood. His eyes were gone. In their place were two hollows, fresh, wet, open to the sunlight. The man was walking. He was shaking, but he was walking. The second man went in. The same scream, the same silence. 99 men waited outside. 98, 96. None of them ran. You can say the Byzantine soldiers had them surrounded. Yes, they did. But there was something else surrounding them too, waiting. Your turn coming. That strange moment when bodies are still here, but you are no longer yourself. In that moment you don't think, should I run or should I stay? You only wait for your turn. When the 100th man came out, one one-eyed man stood in front of 99 blind men. He had been chosen. His left eye had not been taken. His right eye had been gouged out, but his left eye was still there. It was looking. They gave him a rope. At the end of the rope, 10 men were tied. At the end of every 10 men, another rope, another 10 men. That is how a chain of 100 was formed. And at the very front, a guide who could see with one eye. Then the second 100 were called. The same tent, the same process, the same screams. Then the third group. There were 150 groups. It did not take 150 days, because the tents were multiplied. The operation was accelerated. From the fourth day on, 5 tents were working at the same time. In each tent, 2 physicians, 4 soldiers, 1 table. How were the eyes taken? Historians did not write that detail, but we know it had to be done with a sharp tool, quickly, from the root, pulled completely out of the socket, because it had to not grow back, not become infected, never again register light. This was not an injury. This was permanent erasure. Some men fainted. When they woke up, the operation was already finished. Some made no sound at all. They only shook, hands clenched, jaw locked, breath catching. Some cried. But crying did not change anything. Outside the tents, pits were dug. Something was being thrown into them. Small, soft things that would rot quickly. Nobody looked. When a pit filled, it was covered with soil. A new pit was dug. On the 10th day, 10,000 men were blind. 5,000 remained. The process did not slow down. There was no talking among the prisoners, because what could be said? Asking, "Is it my turn?" was pointless. It was everyone's turn. Asking, "Why?" was even more meaningless, because the answer was on the faces of the 10,000 men in front of them. On the 15th day, the last group was processed. The 15,000 Bulgarian soldiers had now been divided into 150 groups. At the head of each group was a one-eyed guide. Behind him were 99 completely blind men. Then Basil's second order came: send them home. Was that order strange? No, because it was already part of the plan. The punishment was not to kill. The punishment was to keep alive and show. They were released. They were given food. They were told the direction. North. Bulgaria. Walk. 150 guides saw the road with one eye. 14,850 blind men walked behind them. When the march began, nobody in the Byzantine camp spoke. Soldiers watched. Tents were taken down. Fires were put out. The Kleidion pass emptied, but the road did not empty. There was a human chain moving north in 150 lines, a one-eyed guide in front, 99 blind men behind, hands on each other's shoulders, feet feeling the gravel on the ground, eyes seeing nothing. They walked. How long did this march take? The records say 3 to 4 weeks, but the duration didn't matter. What mattered was what was felt at every step. The guide saw the road with one eye, but the other eye was gone. Depth was cut in half. Every stone, every hole, every descent was uncertain. When a guide stumbled, the men behind stumbled too. Stumbling meant the chains could break. When the chain broke, the blind men lost direction. And losing direction on this journey meant dying. That was the guide's burden. Keep 99 men alive. Lead them, stop them, move them, feed them, give them water. Do it with one eye that was itself half blind. The blind men only followed, the shoulder in front, the breath in front, the sound of footsteps in front. Beyond that, there was no world. The first night, the army stopped on a plain. They did not light fires, because there was nobody to see fire. Only the guides could, and they could not see much either. Looking into the dark with one eye made you feel completely blind. There was silence, the silence of 15,000 men. Nobody spoke, because there was nothing to say. What had happened had happened. Now there was only walking. On the second day, the first man died. Infection, a fever that started in the socket and spread into the brain. In the morning, he didn't get up. His body was left on the side of the road. The chain continued. On the third day, 5 more died. On the 7th day, 12. The dead were not counted, because the number didn't matter. What mattered was that the movement did not stop. The chain kept going. Every day a little farther north, a little closer to Bulgaria. What did the villagers they passed do when they saw this? Nothing. They stepped back. They watched. Then they ran. Because watching a road where 15,000 blind men were walking meant witnessing. And witnessing meant becoming part of something. Nobody wanted to be part of it. On the 15th day, the first groups reached the Bulgarian border. The Bulgarian sentries at the border saw the army coming. They did not recognize it, because this was not an army. This was the corpse of an army. But it was moving. A messenger ran. To Ohrid. To Tsar Samuel. "The army is coming," he said. "In what condition?" the Tsar asked. The messenger could not answer. On the 21st day, the first 1,000 men reached the outskirts of Ohrid. They stopped in front of the city gate. The chains were not undone. They only waited. A sound came from inside. The gate opened. A few men came out. They looked. Then they ran back inside. When Samuel came out, 1,000 blind soldiers stood in front of him. There were faces he knew, commanders, his brother's son, some of his own guards. They were all there. None of them could see. Samuel took a step, stopped, another step, stopped. Then he fell. A heart attack, the doctor said. Shock, the historian said. But maybe it was only this, the weight of living in a world where a man can send your army back to your gate with its eyes torn out. 2 days later, Samuel died. But the army was still coming. because there were 150 groups, and only the first 10 groups had reached the city. The remaining 140 groups kept walking on the road. Every day, more men reached Ohrid. The city went quiet, the streets emptied, doors closed, because nobody wanted to look. But the sound came anyway. Footsteps, thousands of feet. Slow, steady, not stopping. On the 30th day, the last groups reached the city too. Out of 15,000 men, 12,500 were alive. 2,500 had died on the road. Infection, hunger, falls, getting lost. But 12,500 were there, in the city square. Their families came to take them. Some families recognized them, some could not. Because eyes are not only for seeing, they are also for being recognized. A face without eyes can sometimes be a stranger's face, but voices were recognized. When names were spoken, the blind men turned. "I'm here," they said. History did not record what the families did, but we know the city was quiet that day. No screaming, no wailing, only an acceptance, a new reality. A world where eyes were no longer there. What did these men do afterward? Some went home. They sat there, for years, doing nothing, because there was nothing to do. A man who cannot see, in Bulgaria at that time, was not productive. He became a burden. Some began to beg. They sat on street corners. They held out their hands. Some people gave, some did not. But everyone looked, because these men had become a living memory. The memory of Kleidion, the memory of what Byzantium had done. Some died, slowly. Infection, illness, hunger. But some lived, for years, 10 years, 20 years. They were still blind, and they were still in Kleidion, in their minds. History recorded this as Basil's victory. The emperor took the title Bulgar Slayer, because after Samuel died, the Bulgarian state collapsed, resistance ended. Byzantium took complete control of the Balkans. The strategy had worked. But what was the strategy? Not to kill the army, to send the army back, because a dead army is buried and forgotten. But a blind army is seen every day, on every street, in every home, in every family. 15,000 men became 15,000 reminders. If you fight Byzantium, this happens. The punishment was not execution. The punishment was a message. Who designed this system? Basil himself? His advisors? His physicians? We don't know, but we know the system worked. Because after Kleidion, no Bulgarian army rose against Byzantium. For 50 years. Was it fear? Yes. But fear did not come only from the punishment. Fear came from the punishment being visible, from witnessing. Every day, every moment, everywhere. Eyes are not only for seeing, they are also for being seen. A person whose eyes have been taken is no longer the one who looks. He is the one who is looked at. And every time society looked at him, it remembered Kleidion. Basil knew that. That is why he didn't kill. He kept alive. 60 years after Kleidion, a Byzantine historian wrote, "The emperor did not only kill his enemies, he turned them into living monuments." Living monuments. 12,500 blind men. 12,500 reminders. 12,500 "don't do it again" messages. How many years did that message last? Some died, some lived. But the message lasted even after they died, because now there was a story. Every young soldier who heard it thought, this is what fighting Byzantium means. And he didn't fight. That was the strategy. Taking their eyes was not about stopping them from seeing. It was about making them be shown. Today there is a monument at Kleidion. Stone. Tall. With writing on it. Victory, heroism, strategy. But what is under it? Nothing. Because the eyes were not buried. They were thrown into pits, covered with soil. Nobody marked it. Nobody remembered it. It is only an empty plain now. Wind blows, grass grows, birds fly. But sometimes something rises from that soil, silent, invisible, but felt. The place where 15,000 eyes disappeared, and the road those 15,000 men walked back on. Kleidion was not only a battle, Kleidion was a message system. The message was, I don't have to kill you. Keeping you alive and showing you to everyone is enough. That message worked, because for 50 years Bulgaria was quiet. But quiet was not peace. Quiet was remembering. On every street, in every home, in every family. As long as the blind men lived, Kleidion lived. Even when they died, Kleidion didn't end. Because now there was a story. And a story lives longer than eyes. But the story didn't stay in Bulgaria. Because the 12,500 men who returned from Kleidion didn't only bring their bodies back. They brought their silence back too. And silence spread faster than words. Neighboring kingdoms heard. Serbian princes, Croatian lords, Hungarian nobles, all heard. If you fight Byzantium, your army comes back. But it doesn't see. Was that a threat? No, a threat means something will happen in the future. This was something that had already happened. It had proof. 12,500 witnesses. When Byzantine envoys went to neighboring countries in the years that followed, they didn't say much. They only said this. Do you remember? It was enough. Because remembering meant reliving. 20 years after Kleidion, a child was born in a Bulgarian village. Growing up, he saw an old man in the village. He had no eyes. Every day he sat in the same place. Quietly, the child asked, "Who is this man?" His mother said, "One who came back from Kleidion." The child asked, "What is Kleidion?" The mother didn't answer. She only said, "Don't look at him." But the child looked. Because not looking creates curiosity, and curiosity is stronger than fear. That child grew up. He didn't become a soldier, because his mother didn't allow it. "You don't fight Byzantium," she said. "You saw Kleidion. It won't happen again." The child said, "I didn't see it." The mother said, "That man is enough," and she was right. Because that man, by sitting there every day, kept Kleidion alive. How long did this system last? Kleidion happened in 1014. Basil died in 1025. But a serious Bulgarian uprising against Byzantium didn't come until the 1040s. 26 years. Almost a generation. For a generation, Bulgarian young men grew up. And each one saw at least one Kleidion veteran. Maybe his grandfather. Maybe his neighbor. Maybe the village beggar. They all saw. And seeing meant learning. Was that Basil's goal? Maybe. Or maybe it was only anger. Maybe it was his answer to years of Bulgarian raids on Byzantine lands. Maybe it was retaliation for what Samuel had done to Byzantine soldiers. But did intention matter? No, because the result worked independently of intention. Kleidion was not a battle. Kleidion was a system. And the system sustained itself. The blind men died. But their story remained. The stories were forgotten. But the records remained. The records were erased. But archaeology remained. If a dig were done at Kleidion today, what would be found? Bones, weapons, remains of tents, and maybe small pits. There could be things inside. Soft tissue rots, but bone remains. The bone of the eye socket. Small, thin, fragile. Maybe thousands of them. Nobody dug, because nobody wanted to look. But we know the place is not empty. The place where 15,000 eyes were buried, and the road those 15,000 men walked. The road is still there, from Kleidion to Ohrid. It crosses mountains, cuts through plains, passes rivers. Nobody walks it anymore because there are modern roads now, but the old road is still there. Dirt, stone, gravel, and sometimes when the wind blows, a sound is heard. Footsteps, thousands of feet, slow, steady, not stopping. The sound of Kleidion. What history recorded was this. Basil blinded 15,000 Bulgarian soldiers and sent them back. Samuel died. Bulgaria collapsed. Byzantium won. But what history did not record was this. Each of those 15,000 men woke up every day for the next 50 years, in darkness, and every day he remembered. Kleidion, the tent, the knife, the pain, and every day he lived. Without seeing. Was that worse than dying? History doesn't answer. Because history deals in numbers. 15,000, 12,500, 2,500 dead. But numbers don't feel. Only people feel. And those people felt. For 50 years. Kleidion was not a battle. Kleidion was a 50-year punishment system. And even when the punishment ended, it didn't end. Because the story remained. After Kleidion, Byzantium was called unbeatable. In the Balkans, in Anatolia, in the Caucasus. Why? Because the armies weren't huge, the economy wasn't strong, the technology wasn't superior, but there was Kleidion. And Kleidion told every enemy this. We don't only kill, we keep alive. And what we keep alive, we show to everyone. That message worked for 100 years. Then Byzantium weakened. The Crusaders came. The Ottomans rose. And Kleidion was forgotten. But was it forgotten? No. Because even today, in the Balkans, old people know this story. Basil and the blind. In some versions, it's 10,000 men. In others, 20,000. The number changes, but the core doesn't. Their eyes were taken. They were sent home. They lived. Is this a legend? No, because there are records. Byzantine chronicles, Bulgarian chronicles, Armenian chronicles. They all say the same thing. 15,000 men. Their eyes were gouged out. They were sent back. History is sometimes so horrible that it doesn't need a legend. Kleidion was real, and the real lasts longer than the legend, because a legend softens over time, but the real hardens. With every telling, it gets clearer, colder, more systematic. 15,000 men, 150 groups, 100 men in each group, 99 completely blind, one guide. This was a plan, and the plan worked. 1,000 years after Kleidion, historians still argue, was Basil right? This was the strategy. It worked, but was it moral? But that's the wrong question, because morality isn't measured by outcome. Morality is measured by intention, and the intention was clear: to frighten, to crush, to make rebellion impossible. Did it work? Yes. Was it moral? History doesn't answer. It only records. And the record is 1,014, Kleidion, 15,000 blind, Samuel died, Bulgaria ended. Is that enough? For us, maybe yes, but for those 15,000 men, for them, Kleidion never ended. Every morning, darkness. Every noon, darkness. Every night, darkness again, for 50 years. And inside that darkness, there was only one thing. Memory. The memory of Kleidion. The memory of the tent. The memory of the knife. And the memory of what came after. The march. The silence. The return home. The family's face. The face they could not see. All of it was memory, and memory sees sharper than an eye. Kleidion was a battle, but in truth it was a memory production plant. 15,000 memories, each one alive, each one walking, each one speaking, even if it didn't speak, because silence spoke too. And the silence of Kleidion has been speaking for 1,000 years, still.